This video is dedicated to TRADERESS students. So many of you reached out to me asking me the same question. Why did you leave TRADERESS? In this video, I'm going to give you my honest opinion and detailed explanation for my conclusions. First of all, let me point out the good things. Their mentorship is very well structured and looks professional. It is easy to follow it, and you can become more structured if you follow and do the tasks. Now, many students did not adapt when they noticed that our tasks were not properly checked. An example can be the news research that we had to do. I think it was a really good task, and that's how I learned about many of the news events. Before joining them, I only knew what NFP is. What I used to do was I was just checking if there are any high or medium impact news in order to know if I should trade or not. Of course, you can survive that way as well. But if you're serious about trading, I think that it's important to know what all those reports are and how they impact the value of one currency. This is something that I learned from the task that we got in TRADERESS, and now I know about CPI, GDP, PPI, FOMC, NFP, and so on. Many of the students just copied and pasted what they found on internet, and in that way, of course, it's impossible to learn anything. If they were checking all the tasks, everyone would have found some benefit out of this task, but I do not blame them for that. Second good thing, of course, if you're serious and responsible, is the weekly webinars. Because when you come on the weekly webinars, you have to show your results and show what you have done this week. This helped me to become more consistent and to get the habit of journaling every single trade that I was taking. Third good thing that I learned from the previously recorded videos from the main mentor was the link between DXY and the movement of the measures. I got married to DXY since then. The other mentor that was on our daily Q&As was saying to me not to pay too much attention to DXY because I was creating more job for him. People were confused with some of the things that I was sharing about DXY, and of course he wanted to avoid too many questions. But I found logic in what the main mentor explained in the video where he mentions that DXY is the godfather of the market, and since then I've never taken a trade before looking at DXY. Other than that, when it comes to the strategy, I felt from the beginning that some things just did not make sense to me. They asked us to forget everything that we've learned before. So I decided to just listen what I've been taught and do what I was supposed to do according to what they have been telling to me. The strategy is made so simple so that you don't even need to use your brain, in my opinion. A 5-year-old kid can use it. I'm a person who is seeking for logic behind things, so this was kind of a problem for me in this case. Anyway, I continued pushing and listening to what I've been taught, and I was all in every single week chasing 500 pips, which is insane. I had my alerts on and my computer was on all day long, so if I was gonna get an alert at the middle of the night, I was jumping out from the bed, and if I had the confluences, I was taking the trade. From psychological point of view, this is a huge red flag. I know that the main mentor is good and he is aware of those things. And if he was on weekly webinars, I think that things would have been much more different. But from the whole time that I was there, he appeared in a webinar only once. And I wasn't there only a week or two, I was there with months. Whenever I had a bad week, I was told that I didn't take enough trades. Only 30, you know? That's too little. I was good when I was taking from 50 to 70 trades per week, but don't ask me how I was feeling. My life was charts only. Another thing that I didn't really like is that we did not pay much attention on higher time frame. Also something that was avoided in order to skip more questions. So we were taking trades against the trend, and something that I've been learning from everything before I joined them was the trend is your friend. The rules of the entry criteria were, in my opinion, confluences, not confirmations. Confirmation is when you see a sign that is confirming the confluences, like market structure break, for example. This is another thing that made me not to feel comfortable when I was taking trades. When I was hitting my 500 plus pips weeks, I was definitely paying attention to market structure, especially when I was taking trades against the trend in order to avoid many losses. So I wasn't really doing it the right way.
What?
But the guy from the Q&As was saying to me, "Good job, Anna, you hit the target for the week." Even though if he was gonna go through my trade, he was gonna see that many P lines were broken for the opposite side. This made me feel and think that they focus on the money, not on the value that they provide. I know that for people that have zero previous experience, it is quite hard to notice which things are off. The 500 pips are also for marketing purposes only, in my opinion. They used to say you should not spend much time in front of the charts, but in order to journal so many trades, it's impossible not to spend much time in front of the charts. I used to check the charts 15 to 30 minutes before session open, but I was spending much more time on journaling the trades. What were the other things that didn't make much sense to me? Here are some examples. With session low and P line, we were taught that we should put 10 pips stop loss for the measures and 15 pips stop loss for the crosses. Well, when I think of the volatility of GBP GPY and the volatility of NZD CAD, this rule makes no sense to me. Because GBP GPY is the most volatile forex pair, and NZD CAD is not volatile at all. So how can you have the same stop loss on those two different pairs? Or if we take as an example measures, then USD GPY is way more volatile than NZD USD. So you cannot really have 10 pip stop loss on all of them. The volatility is also changing depending on different fundamental black swan events that are happening. So having such a stop loss out of nowhere without any logic behind it wouldn't work long term, in my opinion. I could notice good results in December with this strategy, which is kind of confirming the logic of my reasoning. The markets in December are not trending, they're in a consolidation or a ranging. The volatility is also lower, so in that way I was not hitting so many losses and I could just take those quick scalps. You have been asking me, is the strategy working? In my opinion, if you don't understand the things that I mentioned before about the stop loss placement and about the confirmation, you're gonna find it really difficult to survive on live market conditions when also emotions are involved. Weeks when the market is consolidating and raging, you might see good results, but weeks when the market is trending and volatile, that's the reason why many are managing to hit the 500 pips target some weeks, and then they have lots of other red weeks in a row. Another thing that did not make sense to me was the cup waves. Everyone was measuring them however they wanted. If we wanted to see the average movement of a pair during a specific period of time, it was going to be better to use the average daily range indicator. I believe we were going to get much accurate data instead of drawing our random waves here and there. But it was a good explanation if you were hitting many losses in a row and you did everything right. In this case, where is the mistake? Well, maybe your cup waves measurements are wrong. Another thing, being right and wrong. Wasn't it a probability game? Everything I've mentioned is just my own honest opinion. I love ICT because I find logic behind everything that I'm learning, and that's why I decided to stick with it. But I will again say, it's not about the holy grail strategy. It's about mindset and psychology. It's about understanding who you are and what suits you. I wasn't feeling comfortable with that strategy, but it might be just me. I don't know. So don't ask me if you should leave it or not, and if you should start with ICT. This is something that you have to decide yourself. I don't regret joining their community, because if I didn't do it, I might have not become disciplined and consistent with my daily trading plan and journaling, which is a huge improvement. Maybe it was not worth the money, but some lessons are more expensive than others. And maybe if I didn't pay so much money, I wouldn't take it so serious as I did this time around. Every single step is teaching us something and leads to improvements. So I don't regret anything. Hope this was helpful. If you liked the video, then hit this like button, and I'm really curious about your opinion and experience. So feel free to share it with me in the comment section. If you want to follow my journey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well if you haven't done that yet. And until next time, stay safe and good luck with your trading.